Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And we're happy to welcome Michael Thompson, who is head coach of the Lady Spartans at CHS. Welcome, Michael.
Well, thank you for having me.
And I want to mention that Ron WYLIE is pinch hitting for Sam. So welcome, Ron.
Thank you very much. Always love being here.
You've got a team with a lot of juniors on it. What do you like about this team, Michael?
What I like the kids. I've known them for a long time. They're good kids, very good students in the classroom, and I've been around them for a long time. Grew up with a lot of their parents, so I've known these kids since they were a very young age.
Has this team connected yet? It's early in the season. Have they connected yet?
Not even close yet. I've been happy so far, 3 games in with our defense overall, but we're not even close to where I think we should be or where we'll be at the end of the year. Offensively, improvement over last year. I like the way that we're scoring a little bit more.
Yes.
But we're just turning the ball over way too much at this point of the season. So that's something that concerns me and an area that we really need to improve on.
How do you fix that?
Confidence, game experience still. You know, we work on it every day in practice, you know, as far as ball handling, keeping your head up, decision making, passing, focus, catching the ball sometimes. We make bad passes where they have to reach for it.
Right.
And sometimes we make a pass right here and then we don't catch it. And, you know, it's just something we got to work on it every single day in practice.
Some of them are forced turnovers, though.
They are, and those I can handle. It's the unforced ones.
Yes.
Like I said, we started out the game against Cardinal Ritter and made 2 really good passes to initiate our offense, and it went right to the girls' hands. You know, those are the kind of turnovers that we need to cut down on.
Yes.
Or we pass the ball to the inside where the defense is instead of on the outside where the defense is not. And, you know, those are things that we're still trying to learn and still trying to correct.
You have one ball game, won and lost 2 in this young season. The 2 losses were to New Pal, which is always good. It's a tough team, and Cardinal Ritter from Indianapolis.
2 quality losses right there,
Yes.
2 good teams. You know, you really look at it, we lost by 6 to New Pal on the road. I came out of there extremely happy with our effort, shot the ball extremely well.
Yes.
Turnovers hurt us a little bit there in that game, but it was a very winnable game. I think we had the ball down 1 with about a minute and a half to go. So you're looking at, you know, 3-4 possession difference in that ball game. We could have won that one. Cardinal Ritter, I was not happy with our effort, not happy with our performance at all. And we played poorly that day, and we lose by 4. You know, and that's, again, a couple of possession games right there.
A couple free throws.
A couple free throws, a couple less turnovers, a couple more defensive rebounds. You know, the difference in the ball game is the little things.
And you talk about that game. Fran and I talked about it during the broadcast. We were amazed at how much you guys controlled the glass. I mean, you guys dominated on the glass, and your defense was great. You had so many rights in that game, it still came up short.
Yeah, and a lot of it was turnovers. I think we had 31 turnovers in that ball game.
Yes.
And, you know, right now my goal is if we could have 15, 16, I think that's, you know, that's probably your average for high school basketball period, boys or girls. If we can get down to that range, I think our chances to win are a lot better.
Turnovers are very costly. You've lost a chance to score and given your opponent another opportunity.
Absolutely. You know, we're probably giving up somewhere, I'd say, an average about 14 points a game off of our turnovers.
Wow.
And then if you're shooting 35-40% and you cut those turnovers down, and that's another 10 points that we could have scored. So, you know, those are the little things that add up to be very big.
I'm sure as the girls you coach are aware of that, Michael.
Absolutely. You know, we talk about it, and they're smart enough and been around basketball enough. You know, you watch film and you point it out of, you know, look at this turnover. That's an unforced turnover. If we have this possession, we didn't give up these 2 points right here. And, you know, we're not good enough right now to go out and really just beat teams. We're not going to blow anybody out. And so every single game, I hope that we're in it in the 4th quarter. And those turnovers that you make in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarter lead up to what the outcome's going to be at the end.
We talked about the losses. Let's talk about a win. 46-41 over a tough team from Mount Vernon, and a big improvement from one game to the next.
Yeah, from last weekend to this weekend, it was a big difference. And I thought our effort was much better. Our hustle was much more greater this past game with Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon's a very good quality program. We've lost to them 7 years in a row, 9 games in a row we've lost to them. I think before that we had won like 6 in a row against them. So it was nice to get a good quality win against Julie Shelton is a big-time coach in high school girls basketball. Had been there for several years, left and went to Butler for 2 or 3 years and came back. So overall I was happy with our coming out with a win. I was happy with our effort. I was happy with the girls that we didn't fold when they made a run early. You know, they got up 7, 9 points early.
Right.
We tied it. They made another run and go up 7. We didn't panic. We didn't, let that bother us. We kept battling back. Had a great third quarter. I think we outscored them 16-3 in that third quarter. Our defense was very good in that quarter, and then was able to hold on in the end. Turnovers almost cost us in the end. We gave up too many offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter, but that last minute, we got the last 2 or 3 rebounds that was able to get us to the free throw line.
It was great to get a victory. I know you were really looking for a win.
Absolutely, and it makes the girls feel better. Hopefully this week of practice is a little bit better. Last week I was concerned because we didn't have a good week of practice, and it wasn't so much the execution part, it was just our body language won, and I just felt like we looked tired. We never did come out with a lot of full energy in practice last week, and as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of good students, and the junior year is a killer year for homework. Academics, I know they're putting in a couple hours a night of homework after getting home late from practice. So, I'm going to try to lighten it up a little bit this week with 2 games and try to get them in quality practice and get them out.
You talked about the practice being not good leading up to that victory. You never really can tell, can you? Because sometimes you've had great practices and not executed on the floor.
Yeah, that's what Coach Hafner mentioned the other day. He said, well, last week we had a very good week of practice and we were 0-2. So, look at it the other way. But, typically the way you practice is the way you're going to play.
Right.
And you can't just have a bad week of practice and think you're going to show up on game day and turn it on. But I did think that we looked quicker again the other night, and I feel like we look quicker right now than we have the past couple seasons.
Speaking of practice, how do you share the bowl with the boys' team?
We look at our schedule and kind of plan backwards based on our games. So the day before a game, you'll have an early practice, and then we just kind of alternate it from there. So like this week, Monday and Wednesday, we're going late at 6:30, and boys are going early, and then we're going early Tuesday, Thursday, with Thursday being the day before our game. And we, Carrie Brown and I work together well, and it's not a problem. And if we ever need to make a switch, hey, I need to go scouting tomorrow. We're supposed to go late. Can you switch me? We both work with each other, and it's not a problem.
That's good, but I've often wondered how you get your practices in with the boys having to practice too.
It's tough, you look at tonight, we start at 6:30 and get done at 8. And normally when I go late, I stop at 8 o'clock. Coach Brown, especially earlier in the year, for him right now, he's probably going to go to 8:39. But I figure 8 o'clock, quality practice, and we'll use those late nights to come in, whether we're going to do something in the weight room, we'll do it before practice, watch film, I'll plan it out till we do it on the late nights, if it's at all possible. So like tonight, we're going to watch film at 6 o'clock, get on the floor at 6:30, and then we'll be done at 8 o'clock.
A lot of preparation. It's not just the X and O's, not just the schemes.
No, you're looking at, you finish your game, this weekend we played Friday, and I'm watching our film from Friday so we can talk about it when we come in on Monday, and then got 2 games this week, so I'm scouting Centerville and Anderson both and getting prepared for those. And you plan your week out for practice to prepare for both teams, and the girls don't necessarily have to know exactly which team we're preparing for, because we're preparing for both of them as we go along and trying to take care of ourselves. So you just plan that out as the week goes along, because you don't want to get in a situation where we plan for Friday night's game all week and then Saturday morning come in and try to plan just for Saturday night's game. So you just work it in. You got 4 days to work on, and in this case, it's 2 different styles of teams totally. Centerville's going to be a little bit more slowed down game, and Anderson's going to be a very fast-paced and up and down kind of game. So got to prepare for both all week long.
You got to admire the coaches and the players.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you said, the girls, we forget that they're athletes, or they're student athletes, that they have to get up very early in the morning, maybe do some homework before school, do some homework after class. It's a lot of work for them.
It is a lot of work, and you know, typically you see and you can read studies that, you know, your athletes a lot of times are your better students, and they do manage their time better because they know that I only have this much time and I must get my work done. And so, like I said, we have a lot of very good, high academic kids on our team.
That's great. Centerville is looking for a victory. They're 0-3 right now. The Lady Bulldogs have lost to Randolph Southern, Eastern Hancock, and Franklin County. So they're struggling a little bit.
They are a little bit, and I was told today that I think their post player may have injured her knee over the weekend, which you don't want to hear that at all.
No.
And I think one of their guards might be sick or injured and may not play this weekend as well. So I know they're limping a little bit coming in, and they've been rebuilding. I think Jason's done a good job at Centerville while he's been there, but you know, they're struggling right now and trying to rebuild, and so, you know, in a case like that on Friday night, I'm much more concerned about ourselves. You know, I want our turnovers to be cut down. If it is a situation where you are able to build a good lead, I don't want to play out of our game plan. You know, I don't want to form any bad habits, and, you know, at the same time, you're preparing for your game on Saturday. And things you might get away with on Friday, you're not going to get away with on Saturday. So, you know, I hope it is a situation that we're able to build a lead, but, you know, there's nothing granted, you know, with that.
Yeah, you talk about preparing for you've got to think about your rest for your players, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, too. So, you know,
if there's back-to-backs, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, and you know, we don't do it often, you know, but you know, we did play that Thursday, Saturday, and that was close to being back-to-back. And Thursday, I thought we looked quick and we looked good, and Saturday we did not, you know. So, yeah, if you are able to get your players a rest, you know, you want to be able to try to do that.
Anderson's 1-2. The Lady Indians have lost to Pike and Fishers, and they beat Richmond by 10.
Quick, athletic, couple big post players. Maybe not as talented this year as they have been in the past few years, but they've been pretty good the last few years, and we've had our hands full with them. Turnovers are going to be key in that game because they're going to press us. They're going to make it a full court game the entire time. And if we just take care of the ball, we'll have a good chance in the end. You know, if we throw the ball around and we play on our heels and we don't attack it and go against them, then, you know, we'll be in for a long night there.
Centerville plays the Spartans at Spartan Bowl Friday, and you go to Anderson. Do they still play in the Wigwam?
They do not. They play at Anderson High School now.
Okay. Should be an interesting weekend.
You know, hopefully we always 2 games, at very least you want to try to get a split. But I think it's 2 games that are winnable. And like I said, Friday, hopefully come into the bowl and playing at home and take care of business, and still looking for improvement every night that we play. And hopefully we can take care of the ball on Saturday night, and I think we'll have a chance on the road on Saturday.
That's 5 games already into the schedule.
It's quick. It is quick, you know. 5 games. Next Tuesday, Batesville will be 6. Week after that, 7, Union County on the road. So, you know, a third of our season is done in the month of November now.
Yes. Batesville will be your first conference game.
It will be, and they are talented. Big. They got a couple of girls that are over 6 foot that play inside, and they do a very good job. They got a good, quick, athletic guard that can shoot the ball from the outside. And that was the only conference game that last year that they beat us for 4 quarters. I mean, in the first quarter they built a big lead, and we were never in that ball game. And you know, we were in the ball games with our East Central and Rushville and Greensburg going into the 4th quarter. So hopefully we'll be able to turn that around a little bit. Have not watched Batesville yet, of course, but their scores have been interesting to me. They've not been scoring as much. Had a fairly tight game with Union County, so I'm interested to see that one. And turn around and had a tight game with North Decatur.
Batesville is 7-0. I'm sorry, Rushville was 7-0 last year. Are they the team to beat this year?
They graduated a lot.
Did they?
Man, our conference is really good. I mean, it is really, really good right now in girls basketball. And I would not have said that 10 years ago. You know, I would not have said that when we first started necessarily. It was an interesting stat from last year. I think there's 45 conferences in the state of Indiana. Our conference in girls basketball was the 2nd best non-conference win-loss record in the state. And you got Greensburg in 3A that was ranked like 3rd last year. They return mass majority of their team this year. You had Rushville last year, it was ranked 4th or vice versa.
Yes.
Very few losses between those two. East Central in 4A was just on the outside of the top 10, you know, looking in. And then you got Lawrenceburg right now, who's really improved. They have a very nice sophomore player that's going to help them win a lot of games. Franklin County wins a lot of games, you know. So right now on the girls' side of it, the Eastern Indiana Athletic Conference is loaded right now.
Should be a real battle for the conference.
It will be, and I think right now I say the top 2 maybe, Greensburg and East Central. You got Batesville and Rushville, Lawrenceburg in there. And I told the girls a goal of ours would be to finish in the middle of our conference this year. And you know, for a lot of people to just hear that comment and say that's not a very lofty goal, but considering what the talent level is in our conference right now, I think that we would fare pretty well if we could be in the middle of the pack there.
Yeah, and I think you have to be realistic with your players as well. You know, I mean, if you build them up so much and they can't reach those goals, then their attitude changes. You know, you talked earlier about your team that you knew these kids from when they were little. This is a team because the majority, we only have one senior. Most everyone is a junior. So these girls grew up. This is your really, I would say, probably your first true team.
And in that essence too, we don't have what we've been blessed to have in the past. We don't have that Taylor Steven type player. We don't have that Tierra Huntsman type player or Mandy McDivitt. We have a group of girls right now. We're asking all of them to contribute. You know, and in simple terms, not asking them to do too much. Marley Smith has done a great job for us offensively right now. But if I'm playing 8 players a night, all I'm asking you to score is 5 points apiece. You know, if you're playing 15, 20 minutes, you know, a lot of you, it should be pretty easy to score 5 points. And if we do that, that's 40 points a game. Get some other girls like Marley right now, who is scoring a little bit higher clip than that. Get somebody to score 8 or 10 a night. You know, then we'll be able to win some games if we're able to do that.
Yeah, we were impressed with how many girls scored during the Ritter game. I mean, that was impressive.
Good balanced scoring.
You had so much balanced scoring. That's impressive.
And right now, it's been good, and that's what I've been asking for. It's what I asked for last year, and we didn't quite get there. But you know, the other night, I think we had 3 or 4 girls that had 4 points apiece. Marley had 19. Lauren had 8, and Jessica Beckman had 7. You know, if we can do that consistently and continue to get better defensively and do a better job of handling the ball and making our decisions, cut our turnovers down, I think we'll be okay.
Greenfield Central will be coming to Connersville December the 21st, and that's an interesting night. You guys play at 6 o'clock, and the boys follow you, and the JV teams play where? They
will be playing in the arena in the middle school. So while we play at 6 o'clock in the bowl, the boys JV team will be playing in the arena, and then we'll flip-flop when we do that. So we've done that maybe now for about 3 years with the Greenfield Central. We are adding that with South Dearborn this year. We're on the road, so that'll be a boy-girl doubleheader down there. And then also, when we play Guerin Catholic, the boys might play, I don't remember, maybe Muncie Central. And we're doing it with 2 different opponents on that night as well.
Wow.
So we're actually going to have 3 boy-girl doubleheaders this year.
Is that a coming thing, you think?
Maybe down the road. I don't think it'll be real soon. Good, bad, and different with it. You know, there's some fans and coaches would say it's a good thing, and others would disagree. I think it's good for girls basketball in general, as far as maybe they would get to play in front of a little bit bigger crowd.
Yes.
You know, the crowd that would typically come to a boys' game is always going to be greater than the girls' game. If they would come in a little bit early, I think it's a way that you can win fans over.
Yes.
You know, and they come and they watch, and hey, they're really working hard. I enjoy watching them play. Let's go watch the girls play again. You know, and there's sight of it. And an athletic director may say, I don't like it because now it's 1 gate instead of 2 gates. So, you know, you're losing money.
There you go.
You know, 2 ticket sales, that's 2 concession stands, nights, or whatever. So as far as that goes, you know, there's good, bad, and different with it.
Yes.
Do our players necessarily like it? I don't know. You know, our girls like to watch the boys play. Our boys, you know, typically support us as well and watch us. So on that night, your varsity teams don't get to support each other at all because as soon as we're done playing, my varsity girls will go over to the arena to support our girls play. So it takes that away from it.
Yes. And not every school is equipped with 2 gyms like we are.
No, you would have to have 2 gyms.
Yes.
Yeah, we're very blessed. You know, you talk about that. You talk about the girls, you know, winning over some fans. I've always been impressed with the years that we've covered, the fact that every year, no matter who you have on your team, your girls always improve by the end of the year. You know, what you see in the beginning, you'll see better at the end. That has a lot. I mean, that has to do with your coaching. I mean, your ability to teach these girls.
Well, you hope so. You know, and that's the goal of every coach is, you know, that we're playing your best basketball at the end of the season. And like I said earlier, I've been very, very blessed to have some great players come through. But, you know, you also hope that at the same time that while they're playing for you, they improve their game, you know, while they spend their time in your program. And I think that's been the case. And, you know, we've been very fortunate to have a lot of girls go on and play at the next level. And you know, you watch them improve from the time they come in as freshmen and until they graduate 4 years later. So, you know, that's, as a coach, your ultimate goal.
Now, do you have a lot to do with the younger programs, the middle school? I mean, how much of the thumbprint do you have on that?
Well, with the middle school, much more than the elementary. I'm involved with the elementary and normally, you know, have your summer camps. And in me, I've moved mine to the fall the last few years, and I think that's helped with our numbers of girls that are involved in camp because I do it right before they start playing with the Parks Department and get a ball in their hands for a couple weeks. And I do it like 2 days a week for a couple days, and then I didn't do it this year, but in the past, then I've held tryouts for the Parks Department and the Boys Club before, and then that way the coaches could come and evaluate all the players before they have their draft night. With our middle school program, yes, we want them to be involved with the high school program. You know, I'm giving them all of our offense, our defense, our terminology, our practice plans. Here's the drills that I want you to use, and you know, and then it's up to them to carry those out when they are by themselves.
Build the program.
And build the program.
But you know, that's because we were talking about it during the game against Ritter. You're gonna unload all these girls in a couple of years, so you really have to really build that program. It's amazing. People don't realize what all you do.
It's a lot of time if you know if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, it is a lot of time, and I think the average fan would probably not imagine how much time is spent in scouting alone.
Right.
You know, and there's a new program, software program that made watching film a lot easier, and coaches can share the film a lot easier. You know, it wasn't long ago you'd have to call a coach, can you send me in the mail VHS tape, and then it was the DVD, and now it's instant. It can be shared immediately.
They can forget to send it to you. I sent it to you. You're not prepared for the team.
And in that case, too, you had to look even further out, weeks in advance. If I need a game from you, and I need probably to wait, you know, plan on a week for it to get to me. So now, you know, I can ask for it instantly through basically an app, and it comes right to me as long as the coaches send it right away. So, you know, we want to watch everybody on film as much as we can, and then I put more of an emphasis on our conference teams and our sectional teams to make sure that I get to go watch them live, you know, minimum one time, but, you know, depends on who it is, you know, several times.
Wow. That's a lot of travel and everything. So whenever you do the girls watch the tapes with you?
Yeah.
Or do you watch it yourself and then break it down?
I watch it a lot more on my own. I'll pick and choose how much time that we spend with the girls on it, and it's your maturity level. Right. You know, I did not spend a lot of time on film the last 2 years. You know, they weren't ready for it, and you know, we were much more concerned about ourselves than the other opponent, and you know, and especially with this group, then we've eased into it a little bit more. Same thing with summer basketball. The last couple of years, I've added more games with this group as we go along. We weren't ready for it a couple years ago, and you're trying to build confidence, and you know, quite honestly, their basketball knowledge wasn't there a couple of years ago. So watching film, I wouldn't say it's a waste of time, but it could be a waste of time if you spend too much time on it and they can't grasp it. So you're trying to build up, you know, what they can handle, and hopefully as the years go by, they can handle more and more.
Amazing.
We mentioned that Centerville comes to Connorsville on Friday night to meet the Lady Spartans and hear how area girls basketball teams are doing some of the other areas. Franklin County is 3-0 with wins over Rising Sun, Northeastern, and Centerville. Cambridge City is 2-0 with wins over Anderson Prep Academy and Seton Catholic. Richmond is 1-2 with a win over Union Modoc and losses to Anderson and East Central. Rushville is 2-1, losing to Newcastle and winning over Muncie Central and Warren Central. Union County is 1-2 with a win over Milan and losses to North Decatur and Batesville. Coach, you play all those teams with the exception of Cambridge City.
Yeah, and Union County is just a couple weeks away.
Yes.
Like I mentioned earlier, they played Batesville the other day. You know, and Centerville's, like we said, struggling a little bit at this point in time. I do want to point out that Anderson this weekend too. Their 2 losses are to Pike and Fishers, and
Yes.
2 very good teams.
Yes.
Pike's ranked in top 5. Fishers has been very good the last few years, so they have 2 pretty good losses in that right there. So, you know, you always want your area of basketball to do well, you know, but not
Yes.
particularly the night that you're going to play them. So, you know, good luck to everybody around us, and we'll be seeing some of those teams real soon.
Spartan Bowl hosts a sectional come late January. What about that?
I'm glad
Yes.
for our girls. And I would say this is maybe the first time in quite a while that I could truly say that our sectional is pretty wide open. You know, we don't
Good.
have a dominant player in our sectional like we've had in the past. We don't have the Sydney Shelton from Mount Vernon like we had, the Maddie Wise from Greenfield that just graduated, Division I basketball players. Right now, I don't think there's one team that stands out over the others. I think they're going to be fairly close. So, you know, the draw is important every year, but I think
Yes.
this year in particular, the draw could be very important. And hopefully for our girls playing at home, will be a plus for us.
Mention some of the teams that will be coming. You talked about the sectional.
The sectional would be Newcastle's out now. New Pal replaced them. So we already saw New Pal, and we lost by 6 on the road to their place. So I think that's a game that's, you know, both of us are going to improve, but a winnable game there. It'll be New Pal, it'll be Mount Vernon, Greenfield Central, us, Richmond, and I'm missing one, Pendleton Heights.
Okay.
And I would think, on paper, I would think early right now, I think New Pal and Pendleton, that's probably toward the top favorites, and I would put us right in there and that right with them. And like I said, hopefully that we continue to improve and give ourselves a chance to play our best basketball at the end of the season.
Every coach wants that.
Absolutely, you know, and playing at home, and it's been a while since we've hosted a sectional here.
Yes.
Too long, way too long.
So hopefully, you know, that'll be a benefit for us.
Coach, you're getting ready to guide the Lady Spartans in game number 285 for you. This is your 13th year, right?
It is.
And you've won 152 and 132 of your losses. That's pretty good.
I did not realize it was almost 300 games. That's a lot. Sometimes I feel like it, you know, like when you say when you're scouting and you're going on the road at night and you have late practice or whatever it may be. But like I said earlier, I've been blessed to have some great players, great young ladies. The parents I've had in the past have been very supportive. And, you know, when you have players and parents like that and an administration that supports you, you enjoy going to work every day and working with the young kids, and you know, time flies by.
One of those young kids is named Lauren Thompson, and I think you're related.
Yeah, my oldest daughter, and you know, she does fairly well shooting the ball. Her ball handling has improved the last couple of years. I just wish she was a little bit more consistent when she's shooting the ball. You know, and I always describe she's either all or nothing. You know, there's no in between there, but. You know, it's been a joy. Like I said, I've been around all these girls, and Tori Bostwick, our lone senior as well. You know, you get to see them play when they're in elementary school. And
yes.
Tori and her dad was very involved with our travel Spartan Heat program when she was in elementary school. And, you know, you get to watch them grow up. And, you know, Lauren, my daughter, she's friends with a lot of those girls and play travel soccer and play travel basketball together. And, you know, with this group as well, no one really took over when they were in elementary school, so I started coaching them in some tournaments and playing when they were probably 5th grade, 4th grade. So I've been around, you know, this group for quite a while.
Coach, congratulations, and thanks for joining us here on the Spartan Sports Report.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for watching, everybody.